Your music has developed, to say the least. Where are you now with the music? I mean, is it country? Is it country rock?
I think it's, well, I mean, it encompasses a lot of styles into what it is that I do. And I grew up in the country music clubs in Australia. So there's a rock edge, there's the country edge, there's a definite pop influence from growing up with a lot of radio, mostly radio. When we'd drive around in the car, Dad always had the radio on, and it was always sort of whatever the top 40 station was. Right. If we weren't listening to 8 tracks of Don Williams or Merle Haggard, then it was, you know, top 40 radio. Yeah. So commercial music, I think of it more in that way. Commercial music was strong in our house as well. So it's a mix of rock, pop, country, commercial music, all sort of thrown together into what I do. Mm.
You mentioned the late Merle Haggard, who in addition to being a terrific singer and performer, was a great writer of
one of the
songs. Did he have a particular influence on you?
I can't say that he did specifically. I have to think the first writer that had influence on me without me knowing would have been Jimmy Webb, because the Glenn Campbell songs, I sang a lot of those songs early on in talent quests, you know, Wichita Lineman, Where's the Playground Susie, a lot of those Jimmy Webb songs, Honey Come Back, there's a whole lot of them. And I didn't know that I thought Glenn wrote them all. I didn't know, you know, like most people. And then I see this name Jimmy Webb, and on every one of these songs, it was extraordinary.
Well, what a journey you've had. What's the funniest thing that's happened to you? What's the most ridiculous thing that happened?
Probably all of it, right? The fact that it's happening. Gosh. I'll tell you the funniest fan story that happened to me many years ago. We were playing a venue like this. It was an arena. I was on stage, and there was a girl way out in the audience who was yelling something out. And I could just hear that she yelled out, "Will you sign my leg?" I said, "Oh, that's fantastic." You know, I was like, this would be a great moment. You know, I'm always looking for great moments. I said, "Yeah, absolutely, come on up." And then she disappeared, and I couldn't see her. And then she reappeared with this prosthetic leg and threw it onto the stage. This thud happens. So I pick up the leg, I sign, and then I thought, how do you pass back in a prosthetic leg? What's the prosthetic leg passing etiquette? And do I lob it back? Do I make her hop up and get it? What do you do? You know? And so they crowd surfed it back to her, and she attached it and had a great night. So just another day at work.
Well, you know, I've heard from Willie Nelson and others about people in the audience throwing beer bottles up on the stage. It's the first time I've heard a story about throwing up their prosthetic leg.
Yeah, that'd be a different kind of chicken wire to stop that from hitting the stage.
I love that story. The time you went into the crowd in the dark, what was that all about? It was my understanding you had the whole auditorium go dark.
Oh, yeah.
Went into the crowd and you played piano?
I have conceptual ideas that I think of sometimes when I'm touring. One of the ideas I had was I'd never been to a concert where they turned all the lights out and did a song in total darkness. This is maybe 5, 6 years, 7 years ago. And I thought, this would be great. So I've never seen that. That would be an immersive experience because you would just hear the music. You wouldn't be able to see anything. And so there was a song I would do on piano. And I thought, I'll put candles all on the top of the piano and I'll explain to the crowd what I'm doing. I'll make it quite dramatic. You know? And here's the problem. I hadn't rehearsed it, which I should have. But I thought, it'll be fine. So I'm at the piano. I have about 6 candles there. I'm explaining to the crowd, you know, we're at a concert and we're blinded by all these lights. And I blow out 1 candle. And so I wondered what it would be like, blow out a couple more candles. It's getting very dramatic. If we just listened to music without anything to distract us in the last candle. And I sat down. Clunk, clunk, and I couldn't see the keyboard. And it was just a mess. And a roadie ran out, and he's got a flashlight on the keyboard so I could see what I was doing, and then they turned on one of the lights. It was such a mess. Once I regained my composure, the lighting guy kept the light on me the whole time.
Right.
And after the show, I said to him, look, I know that the beginning was a mess, but once I got going, you could have turned that light off. He said, it looked terrible. It doesn't work, Keith. It just doesn't work.
Forget this.
Yeah. And I said, why doesn't it work? He goes, you can't see anything. No one knows what to do. And I said, oh, wow, I'm surprised. Years later, I was at a concert by a very, very well-known artist, and I was in the audience. He did the same thing. In the middle of the song, had all the lights out, kill the lights, and the band's up there jamming, and I looked around the audience, and they all went, got out their phones and started doing emails and texts because I can't see anything. So, and I went, man, it doesn't work.
So you haven't tried that
It doesn't
again?
work. I haven't done it since. No.